Africa is often celebrated for its rich cultures, diverse landscapes, and historical roots. Within the heart of this continent emerged some of the most advanced civilizations of the ancient world, including Egypt and Kush. These ancient African empires didn't just thrive, they innovated. They created technologies that continue to amaze us in the present day. They made vast technological advancements in medicine, irrigation, architecture, and communication. From the mighty pyramids of Egypt to the invention of surgical tools that laid the groundwork for modern medicine, we'll explore how these empires were at the forefront of technological advancement. Keep watching to learn about 7 technological marvels from ancient African empires. Number 1. Pyramids of Giza, Egypt. By far, the most famous of ancient Africa's technological advancements are the Pyramids of Giza. The pyramids are some of the most iconic structures in human history. Their construction is so precise that historians still wonder how they managed to build them. Built over 4,500 years ago during Egypt's Old Kingdom, also fittingly known as the Age of the Pyramids, they continue to amaze historians, engineers, and tourists alike. The Great Pyramid is massive, originally reaching an astounding 481 feet tall, with its base covering approximately 13 acres and each side of the pyramid's base stretching 756 feet long. Despite being constructed without modern machinery, the precision of the alignment, within fractions of a degree of true north, remains an architectural mystery. This level of precision implies an understanding of mathematics, astronomy, and engineering that was far beyond what many associate with ancient civilization. Recent discoveries suggest that although we once believed that slaves played a prominent role in the pyramid's construction, there is evidence that tens of thousands of skilled laborers were involved instead. These workers would have been well compensated with food and shelter. The Great Pyramid is the only remaining one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The Pyramids of Giza have not only shaped our understanding of ancient Egypt, but have also inspired countless architectural projects worldwide. Number 2. Irrigation systems in Egypt. Water is life, and nowhere is this more evident than in Egypt, where the Nile River has been the lifeblood of the civilization for millennia. The Egyptians didn't just rely on the annual flooding of the Nile for their agriculture. They developed complex irrigation systems that allowed them to control and manage the river's resources. The Egyptians designed canals, basins, and dikes to control water flow, directing it to where it was most needed. This system enabled them to store water for the dry season and maximize crop yields. They invented the shidoof, a simple but effective tool for lifting water from the river to higher ground. The shidoof consisted of a long pole balanced on a pivot, with a bucket at one end and a counterweight at the other. This invention, while simple, drastically improved the efficiency of irrigation. These innovations in irrigation allowed Egyptian farmers to cultivate their land year-round, ensuring a stable food supply for the growing population. The abundance of food produced by this system helped Egypt maintain its status as a major power in the ancient world. The Egyptian irrigation techniques were not only revolutionary for their own civilization, but also influenced surrounding regions. Other African and Middle Eastern civilizations adopted and adapted these systems for their own agricultural needs, spreading Egyptian innovations far and wide. Number 3. Egyptian obelisks. The towering obelisks of ancient Egypt are another marvel of engineering and craftsmanship. These massive stone pillars, carved from a single piece of stone, were erected as monuments to the gods, particularly the sun god Ra. Obelisks were typically made from granite quarried near Aswan, hundreds of miles south of where they were erected. Moving these massive stones, some weighing up to 300 tons, over such long distances without modern machinery required incredible ingenuity. Workers likely used sledges, rollers, ramps, and river transport to move the obelisks to their final locations. They primarily transported them great distances by sliding the obelisks onto a barge using a ramp from the quarry to the Nile. Once on the barge, they could travel hundreds or even thousands of miles down the river. Erecting these towering structures was no small feat either. Using ropes, ramps, and counterweights, workers raised the obelisks into position, often placing them in pairs at temple entrances. The obelisk's shape, with a pointed tip, symbolized a ray of sunlight, connecting it directly to the worship of the sun god. Their placement in temple complexes often aligned with significant solar events, demonstrating the Egyptians' advanced knowledge of astronomy. Obelisks were not just engineering marvels, but also symbols of the pharaoh's divine power. Many of these ancient structures were later taken to other parts of the world, including Rome, Paris, London, and New York, where they still stand today as a testament to the grandeur of ancient Egypt. Number 4. Meroitic script. While many know Egypt for its hieroglyphics, the Kingdom of Kush, located south of Egypt in what is now Sudan, had its own unique writing system. The system they developed was known as Meroitic script. The Meroitic script, which emerged around 300 BCE, was one of the earliest written languages in Africa. It could be written in both a cursive form, used for daily writing, and a hieroglyphic form, used for monumental inscriptions. Although heavily influenced by Egyptian hieroglyphics, the script represented the distinct language spoken by the Kushites. While many texts in Meroitic script have been discovered, most remain undeciphered to this day. This has added to the intrigue surrounding the Kingdom of Kush, with scholars continuing to work on unlocking the meaning of these ancient inscriptions. The development of a distinct writing system helped the Kushites assert their cultural independence from Egypt, even when they ruled over the Northern Empire. This script allowed the kingdom to keep records, record religious texts, and solidify the power of its rulers through monumental inscriptions. Number 5. Iron smelting. In addition to their advances in writing, the Kushites were skilled ironworkers who developed advanced techniques for smelting iron. These techniques enabled them to create superior weapons and tools that contributed to their military and agricultural strength. They used furnaces capable of reaching the high temperatures needed to extract the metal. The iron from this process was then forged into tools and weapons far superior to bronze. The superior iron tools allowed the Kushites to increase agricultural production, as iron plows were much more efficient than their bronze counterparts. At the same time, iron weapons gave the Kushite military an edge over their enemies, allowing them to expand their territory and influence. The ability to produce high-quality iron also positioned Kush as a key player in trade networks across Africa and the Mediterranean. Kushite ironworkers were highly sought after, and the iron they produced became a valuable commodity traded for goods from distant lands, bolstering their economy. Number 6. Surgical tools. One of the lesser-known but equally important contributions of ancient Egypt to world history is their development of surgical tools and medical practices. Ancient Egyptian physicians were renowned for their skill and knowledge, and the ancient Egyptians developed advanced medical practices and surgical tools made of bronze and copper. They invented forceps, scalpels, and needles, which were used in complex surgeries and medical procedures far ahead of their time. Egyptian doctors used a variety of surgical instruments made from bronze and copper, including scalpels, forceps, dental tools, and even early forms of prosthetics. These tools were used in a range of procedures, from setting broken bones to removing tumors. Some of the instruments found in tombs and temples are remarkably similar to those still used in surgery today. Much of what we know about ancient Egyptian medicine comes from medical texts such as the Ebers Papyrus, which dates back to around 1550 BCE. This document outlines treatments for a wide range of ailments, including infections, broken bones, and even mental health issues. The Egyptians also had a deep understanding of anatomy, which was likely enhanced by their practice of mummification. The surgical tools and medical techniques developed by the Egyptians laid the foundation for modern medicine. Their understanding of the human body, combined with their innovative tools, allowed them to perform incredibly advanced procedures. Number 7. Paper. No discussion of ancient Egyptian technology would be complete without mentioning papyrus, the material from which we get the word paper. The invention of papyrus, made from the papyrus plant, was a groundbreaking advancement in communication. It allowed the Egyptians to record vast amounts of information, from administrative records to religious texts. Papyrus was made from the papyrus plant, which grew along the banks of the Nile. The plant's stalks were cut into thin strips, laid in a crisscross pattern, and pressed together. The plant's natural sap bonded the strips together, creating a durable, flexible writing surface. The development of papyrus allowed the Egyptians to create vast archives of written records, from administrative documents to religious texts. Before papyrus, records were often carved into stone or written on clay tablets, which were cumbersome and time-consuming to produce. On the other hand, papyrus was lightweight, portable, and much easier to write on using reed pens and ink. This advancement enabled the Egyptians to document their history, laws, trade records, and religious beliefs more efficiently than the cultures before them. The invention of papyrus not only facilitated administrative tasks, but also played a critical role in preserving Egyptian religion and culture. Many of the most famous Egyptian texts, such as the Book of the Dead, an ancient Egyptian funerary text, were written on papyrus scrolls. Funerary texts provided guidance for the dead as they navigated the afterlife, reflecting the Egyptians' profound belief in the spiritual world. Papyrus also became one of Egypt's most important exports, and its use spread throughout the Mediterranean world. Other civilizations, including the Greeks and Romans, adopted papyrus for their writing needs. The importance of papyrus as a medium for writing persisted for centuries until it was eventually replaced by parchment and paper made from wood pulp. Thanks to the Egyptians, we have written records from many civilizations that may have been lost without the advent of papyrus paper. Honorable mentions. Egypt and Kush were, of course, not the only ancient African civilizations that developed technological advancements. Although they created many of the most notable developments, there are other civilizations whose technological marvels should be remembered. Here are some of those honorable mentions. The Carthaginian Empire, founded by Phoenician settlers, was renowned for its maritime trade and military prowess. The state's most famous general, Hannibal, led an army that included elephants across the Alps to invade Rome. They were also accomplished engineers, building complex harbors and trading outposts across North Africa and Europe before their destruction in 146 BCE. The Great Zimbabwe civilization is famous for its massive stone architecture, particularly the Great Enclosure, the largest ancient stone structure in sub-Saharan Africa. The civilization was a major center of trade, known for its gold, ivory, and cattle exports to the Swahili coast and beyond. It was the heart of a vast trading network connecting southern Africa to the Indian Ocean trade routes, including cities as far away as China and Persia. The stone ruins of Great Zimbabwe remain one of Africa's most impressive archaeological sites. The Kingdom of Benin, located in present-day Nigeria, was famous for its artistic achievements, particularly its highly sophisticated bronze sculptures and ivory carvings. Benin's capital, Benin City, was protected by a vast system of earthworks known as the Benin Walls, which stretched for thousands of kilometers. The kingdom was also a significant political and military power in West Africa, with its rulers, known as Obas, controlling trade in the region. The kingdom remained a powerful entity until it was colonized by the British in 1897. Although these civilizations don't highlight any specific technological marvels, they help demonstrate the richness and diversity of Africa's historical contributions to human development, ranging from monumental architecture and advancements in writing to complex trade systems and governance. Each of these cultures left a lasting legacy that continues to influence the world today. Their influence was not limited to their immediate regions. Their technological innovations had a ripple effect, influencing neighboring civilizations and, in some cases, continuing to shape human progress centuries later. Their achievements challenge some common misconceptions of African societies and provide a picture of a continent at the forefront of technological innovation. From the awe-inspiring pyramids of Giza to the creation of papyrus, these advancements laid the groundwork for developments in science, medicine, architecture, and communication that continue to impact today's world. How would you like to get a deeper understanding of history, impress your friends, and predict the future more accurately based on past events? If this sounds like something you might be into, then check out the brand new Captivating History Book Club by clicking the first link in the description. To learn more about ancient African empires, including their technological marvels, check out our book, Ancient African Empires, an enthralling guide to the major kingdoms and civilizations of Africa. It's available as an ebook, paperback, and audiobook. Also, grab your free Mythology Bundle ebook while it's still available. All links are in the description. If you found the video captivating, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like this.